Okay, good evening and welcome to the Ross Board of Education July 23rd meeting, 2020, our regular meeting. Before we do roll call, I just want to make a couple announcements. Our agenda tonight does not have anything regarding the school opening and how we're going to handle the school opening, but I do want to talk about our responsible restart. Our faculty and our parents will receive a packet tomorrow via email that will detail our responsible restart. Please keep in mind that we are 40-something days away from our opening after Labor Day, and that there's a possibility, probably a good one, that there will be some changes throughout that restart. But tomorrow's is the July 24th edition of what we plan on doing. So I just wanted to make sure that our public knew that that will be out tomorrow. It'll also be on our Facebook page for people who don't receive the emails that are parents or staff members, but community members that want to know what's going on. It will be on our Facebook page. And lastly, before we do roll call, on our webpage, rossrams.com, we will have a tab for the responsible restart where everybody can go in and look at the PDF files that we will be uploading periodically for that. So with that being said, Mr. Kinsel, could you call the roll, please?
Mr. Van Winkle?
Yes?
Mrs. Webb?
Here.
Mr. Bossy?
Present.
Mrs. Hayes?
Here.
And Mr. Chanel?
Here.
If everyone could please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Castaner, could you review the agenda? Are there any changes?
Yeah, we have several changes under the personnel section. Those are all noted with asterisks. A couple corrections to contract effective dates, as well as a change in position title for one staff member.
But the board had received all the changes
Correct.
earlier. We'll go ahead to the minutes, Mr. Castaner.
Yep. First item up for approval is number 4, letters A and B. The approval of the minutes from the June 28th, or June 18th and June 24th meeting.
Can we get a motion?
Motion.
Mr. Chanel with the first. Can we get a second, please?
Second.
Mrs. Hayes with a second. Mr. Kinsel, could you call the roll?
Yes. Mr. Chanel?
Yes.
Mrs. Hayes?
Yes.
Mr. Van Winkle?
Yes.
Mr. Bossy?
Yes.
And Mrs. Webb?
Yes.
We did have one public participation emailed to us earlier today. Mr. Castaner answered through via email and also copied me on that. And again, all of our emails, our upper administration, board members, contact information, feel free if you ever need anything to use those emails, and we will answer that. Okay, Mr. Castaner, if you want to go to the superintendent's reports and recommendations, please.
The first thing under number 6 is letter A, the finalized MOU for OTES agreement with the REA for this past school year.
Okay, can we get a motion for MOU, letter A, a first, please?
Motion.
Mrs. Webb, a second.
Second.
Mrs. Hayes, roll call, Mr. Kinsel?
Mrs. Webb?
Yes.
Mrs. Hayes?
Yes.
Mr. Van Winkle?
Yes.
Mr. Bossy?
Yes.
And Mr. Chanel?
Yes.
Go ahead, Mr. Castaner.
Under letter B, personnel, I'd like to ask for approval for attachments A, B, C, D, and E.
Okay, can we get a motion for A, B, C, D, and E, a first, please?
Motion.
Mr. Chanel, a second.
Second.
Mrs. Webb, roll call, Mr. Kinsel?
Mr. Chanel?
Yes.
Mrs. Webb?
Yes.
Mrs. Hayes?
Abstain.
Mr. Bossy?
Yes.
And Mr. Van Winkle?
Yes. Okay.
Last one under letter B, personnel, is asking for approval for attachment B2.
B2, can we get a motion for B2, a first, please?
Motion.
Mr. Chanel, a second.
Second.
Mrs. Hayes, roll call, please.
Mr. Chanel?
Yes.
Mrs. Hayes?
Yes.
Mrs. Webb?
Yes.
Mr. Van Winkle,
Yes?
and Mr. Bossy.
Abstain.
Is that everything? Okay. Mr. Kinsel, we'll go ahead to the treasurer's reports and recommendations, please.
Yeah, I'd like to block A through C for one vote.
Okay. Can we get a motion A through C for treasurer's recommendations?
Motion.
Mrs. Webb, can we get a second?
Second.
Mrs. Hayes, roll call, Mr. Kinsel?
Mrs. Webb,
Yes.
Mrs. Hayes,
Yes.
Mr. Van Winkle,
Yes.
Mr. Bossy,
Yes.
and Mr. Chanel.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead, we got our next one, Mr. Castaner, go ahead.
Yep, number 8,
Speak up.
happy to ask for the approval tonight of our new superintendent for Ross Local Schools, Dr. Chad Conkle, who's here with us and his family this evening. Happy to have him here. So if we can go ahead and make a motion for approval.
Okay, before we do that, guys, just wanted to publicly thank a few people prior to that. Wanted to thank Mr. Kinsel, who helped out a lot with the process the night of the interviews. I want to thank Steve Castaner for numerous duties throughout the process, for his help. Want to especially thank Mr. Chris Brown, the superintendent for Butler County ESE. We contacted Mr. Brown when we were going through this search, and he made it an extremely positive experience, assured us we were able to get it done, did a lot of the administrative work, and also the search processes. I don't think we could be where we are today, quite honestly, especially as organized as it was, if it wasn't for Mr. Brown, and I want to thank him publicly, who's the superintendent for Butler County ESE. And of course, I wanted to thank the Board of Education. Sorry for the crazy emails I sent you daily and numerous meetings we sat through, but for me personally, it was an honor to go through this process with this board, and I really appreciate it, so thank you guys so much. With that being said, can I get a first on action number 8 to approve Dr. Chad Conkle for our next superintendent, CEO of the district? Mr. Bossy first.
Second.
Mr. Kinsel, roll call.
Mr. Bossy,
Yes.
Mrs. Webb,
Yes.
Mrs. Hayes,
Yes.
Mr. Chanel,
Yes.
Mr. Van Winkle.
So what we're going to do now, prior to Mr. Conkle coming all the way up, just kind of wait right here, we have a short video that our athletic department, and I think some high school administrators and others put together. I just wanted to welcome Dr. Conkle to our district. And so as we get set up here, after the video, we're going to allow, obviously, Dr. Conkle a few minutes to introduce himself and so on and so forth. So the video will be live streamed, obviously, with our YouTube as well. As we set it up here. No pressure, Becky.
Of course, if I work early.
I know.
We're fine.
We're working on it.
Becky, can you hit hit the source on the
Yeah.
projector? There we go. There we go.
On behalf of everybody in Ross Athletics, welcome to the Ram family, Dr. Conkle. We're excited to have you on board.
Mr. Conkle from the Integrated Volleyball. Welcome to Ross.
We can't wait to see you at our games. From the Ross girls soccer team. Woo!
Hey, Dr. Conkle. It's Coach Lane, head varsity boys basketball coach. On behalf of the Ross boys basketball program, I'd like to welcome you to the Ross district, the Ross community, and the Ross family.
Dr. Conkle from the Ross Rams tennis team and coaches.
We are looking forward to seeing you at the courts. It's great to be a Ram.
On behalf of everyone here at Ross Local Schools, welcome to Ross. You're going to love being a Ram.
Welcome to Ross Local Schools, Mr. Conkle. K-O-N-K.
Superintendent of Ross Local Schools, Dr. Chad Kunkel.
Well, thank you. That was a first-class introduction. This is a first-class organization. It's been a great 48 hours. I've received phone calls and text messages, Twitter messages. This is truly an outstanding organization. I am happy to be part of the Ross team. With me tonight, I have my 3 children. I'll introduce them. Peyton, Morgan, and Parker. They are the support system that kind of gets us educators through our daily routine. Kate Korchik, my significant other, is also here, so thank you for your support. But the school board, let me first of all say I'm honored and happy to be your next leader. We have a great district here, and we have great things to do. During my interview process, I really said this is a family, and watching that video, it's obvious that the family culture is here. I'm glad to be part of it, and I expect part of my leadership is kind of 3 pillars. One is positive relationships. I'm going to work very hard each day to be visible in the community, to meet families, to find out what's working well in the district, but to also find out what are some areas that we need to grow in. The second thing is I have high expectations. I think this district will be the best district in Ohio. There's 600 plus districts in Ohio. I think this is probably one of the top couple districts out there. My goal is to lead our district, so we are the top district in Ohio. But last, I lead with a collaborative leadership style. I want to bring people together, have conversations about what we can do to improve our district. Students and staff, I look forward to meeting everybody. Also parents, my goal is to be very visible and to learn about the Ross way, but to also find out what's working well, and we're going to continue those things. But the school board, again, thank you for this opportunity. Again, that video was awesome, and I thank you for your support.
Thank you.
Yes. Thank you.
Okay, to end our meeting, we're going to go around with board comments, final board comments. We will start with Mrs. Webb. Mr. Boston gave me a look like.
So the last couple of weeks have been very accelerated, and I know that there was a lot of moving parts and a lot of time and effort. And I know, Sean thanked some people in the room for their assistance, but I want to thank Sean too, because I thought he really put together a very nice process, a very thorough process. Got a lot of great candidates, and I'm very excited that we have Dr. Kunkel here with us tonight, and leading our district, and I'm excited to work with him. So thank you for that. I also want to thank everybody that was involved in making this video, because literally it was put together in 2 days. So I mean, that just is a testament to the kind of district that Dr. Kunkel, you're coming into. I mean, this truly is a family.
Sure.
And it really is. We take pride in what we do, and welcome you to open arms. So thank you to everyone who helped to create that video. And thank you to Becky and Steve for all of your work as well with our restart that will be going out tomorrow to families. So I know that a lot of work has been put into this, a lot of time and effort behind the scenes, and just appreciate all of that.
Thanks.
First of all, welcome. We are so excited to work and start this new partnership with you. I want, like Amy said, thank Sean and John and Steve and Chris and Becky for everything that we've done. And I can be very proud of our board, how we came together quickly and had some great candidates and came to the one we chose, and very excited to have you here. Again, the video was wonderful. I'm not gonna lie, I had a little tear. And thank you to Chris. I know, I'm shocked I cried. Thank you to Chris Brown. This is very helpful and informative, and appreciate staying late and helping us. So thank you.
Mr. Schnell?
I won't really reiterate everything everyone else has said, but it was a very quick process. Just thank you to all the same people. It was a relatively easy process, and I think we're all very happy with our choice. Also, just like to publicly thank Scott Gates for his time and service here. I only got to work the last 6-7 months with him, but it was very good.
Mr. Boston?
Yeah, I want to take the time to thank Scott for his years of service and always a very positive attitude he had. So that is a salute. I look forward to Chad and our administrative team, as well as building administrators, taking Ross schools on an academic achievement growth over the next few years. What would you think? So that I'm looking forward to that. So with that in mind, all the other business things, I think I'll just hold on until next month.
Final board comments for me. Andy touched on it a little bit, but want to publicly thank Scott Gates for his time at Ross. We were able to talk to him today. He came in and talked to the board, and as any coach, like I'm a former coach or any administrator, he left the place as good as it was when he came here, and that's a sign of he did a great job his 5 years here. Butler Tech, I'm the Butler Tech liaison, and just really quick, for the Ross people that are going to be going to Butler Tech, they're on a hybrid model as of now to start school, and I'm sure you're going to be receiving the emails about that, but I wanted to at least do my part as the Butler Tech rep to publicly say that. And one last thing, just with Dr. Kunkel, I've known him for a little while, and our CEO of our district now is a first-class human being, and I cannot wait to see him work with the incredible people that we have in our district, and looking forward to it. The athletic director wanted you to do some flips on the way up here, like the cheerleaders, but I told him maybe next time. So, but with that being said, can I get a first for adjournment of this meeting, please? Mrs. Hayes?
Second.
Second, Mrs. Webb. Mr. Kensel, could you please call the roll?
Sure. Mrs. Hayes?
Yes.
Mrs. Webb?
Yes.
Mr. Van Winkle?
Yes.
Mr. Bossy?
Yes.
And Mr. Chanel?
Yes.